I don't know about you, but I had a great Memorial Day weekend, so I'm gonna keep drinking more beer. Hello, my beer drinking friends, and welcome to another Two Brew Tuesday. I'm your host, Andy, and today we've actually got a couple of beers from Mockery Brewing. Mockery is actually based out of Denver, Colorado. They're fairly new, and I was in touch with their head brewer, Justin, and he decided to send me a couple of beers for us to try. So first up, we've got their Funkin' Stupor. This is actually a pale ale fermented 100% with Brettanomyces. It's got Brett Classini and Brett Dry, and it's actually a collaboration they did with another new brewery that's going to be opening late this year, early next year, and that's actually called, looking up here, Novel Strand. So let's crack this can open. This is not something they usually package, so it's usually just available in their tap room. So obviously right up front, very clear, golden color, nice pale. It's got a thick foamy white head. So it's 100% Brett fermented, so on the nose you don't get any of that funkiness that you'd associate with a Brett beer. Usually Brettanomyces depends on the esters that are developed by the Saccharomyces yeast to sort of change those esters and those aromas into different aromas. But when it's a 100% Brett beer, it's a much cleaner fermented beer. So up front I'm getting just like a ton of like fruit and citrus character to this beer. So, and then on the back end, in the taste actually, I'm getting a little bit more of a little bit of a funk character. It's got a fairly high bitterness. This beer checks in at 6.5%, so it's a little bit high for an American Pale Ale. But Brettanomyces, again, it's noted for, you know, fermenting a super dry beer, so it really takes this beer as far down as it can go, which leads to a little bit higher ABV. It's actually a very refreshing beer, and it doesn't really taste like 6.5%. I would say this is actually a perfect kind of Memorial Day kind of beer. You know, I would see this perfect for barbecue beer. I had some ribs that I smoked all Memorial Day, and this is a beer I could definitely enjoy with those ribs. So our second beer is what they call their Mockery. This is actually a sour golden ale that they've done with strawberries. They actually do this as a kettle sour beer and then age it in tequila barrels and fresh strawberries right before bottling. So it should have some elements of a margarita. Let's pour this guy in a glass and see what we're dealing with. So it's a golden ale, but obviously those strawberries have carried over. They've given it like a little bit of a rose hue, a little bit of amber orange to it. It's got a fairly modest head, but you can see there's actually a pretty good amount of carbonation. I'm seeing a ton of bubbles coming off this guy. In the nose, you get the strawberries up front, and then you also get a little bit of that tequila aroma to it, and just a little bit of oak. Obviously the barrel's carrying through there. That is really nice. It's a very mellow sourness to it. Obviously, it's because it's kettle soured. It's pretty clean. It's almost all the lactic acid. No sort of funky notes to it. But then you definitely get that tequila note to it. So it almost does taste like a margarita beer. So obviously with the margarita notes, I would see drinking this beer with some tacos. You know, again, it could be a barbecue beer for sure. And yeah, it's actually really nice. This one also checks in at 8.6% ABV. Actually, it's a lot bigger than I was expecting, because it does not taste like 8.6 at all. This is so smooth and easily drinkable. And it's actually kind of amazing how they got the strawberries in there. Strawberries, usually when you ferment them, the flavor just totally disappears because it's a very delicate flavor. So it's I can't imagine how many strawberries they had to put in the barrels to get that aroma and flavor. So those are our 2 beers for 2 Brew Tuesday. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure to give us a thumbs up. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We've got stuff up there. And until next Tuesday, everybody, cheers!